And we appreciate you listening today. Get this, Suzanne and her team at Phoenix Financial Group have a special invitation for you today. For the next 5 callers, they'll sit down with you personally and help create a custom retirement plan just for you. It's complimentary and there's no obligation. Just call 918-890-8311. That's 918-890-8311. And together with you, Suzanne and her team will look at your investments, taxes, and perhaps most importantly, show you how your life savings can create a dependable and sustainable income in retirement. Call today for your custom retirement plan, 918-890-8311. That's 918-890-8311. And visit us online at dimetodiamondsradio.com. Welcome back. You guessed it. This is Dime to Diamonds. And I want to make sure you get that phone number, guys. If you call during the show, make sure you leave us all your details. Suzanne and the team, they'll get right back to you. 918-890-8311. 918-890-8311. The website, dimetodiamondsradio.com. Guys, very special weekend. It is Mother's Day weekend. So happy Mother's Day to all the mamas and the grandmamas. And Rochelle, you're a fur baby mama. Suzanne, you are a mama and a grandmama. Happy Mama's Day weekend to you.
Yes, and happy Mother's Day to you. You have two of the most beautiful children. Oh, my goodness.
So much.
They are Gerber babies.
They are. Can they get out there and make some money for this mama? Because, I mean, get a job.
You've done well. Like I've told you, you need to have about 8 more of them. They're just absolutely beautiful.
Wow.
Humans. Okay. Yes. Well, I think one of the greatest gifts we can give as a mother is to our children is a legacy plan in place. Let them know what we want, how to carry out our wishes, whether those are medical directives, the trust. You hear me talk about estate planning and getting a trust in place. Get it all done for them. It's not comfortable. I think it's a reality check that we aren't going to be here forever, but it is one of the best gifts we can give. I was on a call late last night of a client out in Nevada, and she had said, they have a different situation. Her dad passed away, so she moved in. She sold her place, moved into their family home with her mom. And her mom was, doing the trust, but then said, there's 2 daughters. This one has been with me since the day that, the dad passed away. And she wants to make sure, because this daughter is living with her, is putting all into the house. She wanted a transfer of death instead of putting it part of the estate plan. So we talked about that because that's what the mother's wishes were.
Yeah, well, and I think it's really sad that in our society, these conversations aren't had, because I think it's one of those where if it's had ahead of time, there's less bickering, there's less frustration, there's less wonder on the people who are left behind. When I was much younger, my dad was having some issues, and his big thing was like, well, if you have to go play a softball game tomorrow, you better go play. And I'm like, oh my gosh, but it's one of those, like, you wouldn't question what he wanted you to do. Right. You knew, right? So you wouldn't feel guilty for doing this or for doing that. And I think it's just one of those that you can help your loved ones be able to process your grief in a less toxic environment by having the conversation ahead of time and just making it something that is normal. It's not that anybody's wanting it to happen tomorrow, but if it did, everybody would know what to do and they would have a plan in place.
Right. So this Mother's Day, if you're a mother or you're a daughter that, or a son, and that your mother hasn't done that, maybe set up an appointment, have a conversation, bring her to lunch. We're in beautiful downtown Broken Arrow on Main Street in the Rose District. Take her to lunch. Let's talk. I'll have that open conversation. I'll say the weird things. And, nice. Don't say weird. It's just like, hey, what are your plans? Because we're all thinking about them. We know that, Rochelle.
Correct.
It's just we haven't had maybe a safe place to talk about it. Like, how do you bring that up?
Well, I feel like when you're here, it's a neutral environment to have that conversation. Right. It is a little weird at Thanksgiving to pop this up just in front of the whole group. So I think it's one of those, it provides an outlet for people if they come in and have that conversation with you.
At least the initial conversation with family or without, because I've had them come in alone and tell me this is what I want carried out. This is what I don't want shared. The other part is everything, as long as it is a revocable, it can be changed. Mm-hmm. Please understand that. Just at least get something in place to protect yourself and your family if you were to get sick or you to transition. Get it in place. So give the gift that really I feel like shows that you love the most.
Yeah, the gift that keeps on giving is kind of what I say, because you're making sure everything is the way you want it, going to your loved ones the way you want it. And essentially, guys, it's giving you control over your financial future and your future in general. So again, this is a conversation that is essential. If you're thinking right now, man, I forgot to get mom this or that, all you have to say is, hey, mom, guess what? Next week, at Wednesday at 2:00, we're going to go see Suzanne, and we're going to get everything figured out the way we need to. There's no cost. There's no obligation. So it's cheaper than getting the expensive flowers, guys. It's cheaper than taking her to dinner. I can tell you that. So come in, get those answers to those questions keeping you up at night, and make sure both you and mom are confident moving into your future and your financial future. 918-890-8311. 918-890-8311. Well, the Fed once again passed on cutting interest rates. The meeting was the last for Jerome Powell as chair, and the political path has now been cleared for his successor coming in, Kevin Warsh. So does that mean anything for the future rates? Well, as much as we can guess, let's talk to investment officer Stephen Auth here of Fox Business.
The earnings numbers are powering ahead. Valuations aren't cheap, but they're what we would call fair. The setup looks pretty good. And, if you look at the demand figures, they're holding up in the economy. Retail sales, which is something we watch pretty carefully. Travel data looks good. Credit card data looks good. The investment numbers that are coming through look pretty good. And core inflation is holding in there. And so we see the Fed still cutting about 3 times between now and this time next year, which is kind of a Goldilocks environment for the economy.
So here's the deal. Let's break it down to brass tacks here. If the Fed really cuts 3 times over the next year, what should near retirees do right now with cash and those short-term bonds? Do we lock it into yields, today's yields, or do we stay flexible? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it really depends on, their plan. What is the goal of those CDs or bonds? What is your outcome that you're wanting? So we have to consider that higher interest rates can be great, but it's also taxable income and it creates traps sometimes. So we have to make sure that it's working within your whole portfolio, that would be the best plan, because that's taxed at ordinary income. And maybe we could divert it into some other type of vehicle and it be capital gains, which is taxed at a lower rate. So it just really depends on your situation. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. And that's where when people will come in and talk about geopolitical stuff going on, of course, we have it on all the TVs. It's running across my screen every day, all the time. I'm very aware of all of it, but I need to know how that's going to apply to your situation, because it's not just, this is the remedy for this. All of your dollars have different roles in your portfolio, in your overall picture. And that's where we want to kind of get down, get the conversation, get the notes. Let me take all the notes and then just kind of do an outline to say, if I hear you right now today, because us women, we like to change our mind. This is what you want. This is what you're saying. This is what you want. And then sometimes they're like, actually, no, now that you're saying that, that's not what I want. Okay, so maybe that CD isn't the best place for it, or maybe that the income earning dividends isn't, because this is very unpredictable. So yes, I'm hearing you with the geopolitical stuff going on and the rates and all that. And so let's have a conversation about the rates. Are you thinking about refinancing? Are you thinking about selling and buying something smaller, because we're in that time? I had somebody whose husband unexpectedly passed away, and she said, I'm glad we had this conversation before, because I was prepared. We never talked about if he ever passed away before me. And so we had that conversation in your office, unexpectedly happened. I don't want to take care of this large house by myself. I don't need the garage to tinker in. I don't want to do the landscaping. So we went to that plan B. And so now she's like, if I do sell and I do get somewhere else, should I take all that money and pay cash? Or should I, because the rates could be coming down, and that's where you just give them all the different, let's run some ideas and scenarios. We have all the software for it.
Correct. Yeah. Well, and we also know that everything is temporary, right? So it's an ever-changing landscape. And so maybe it's not a good move to make today, but maybe we need to revisit it again in 6 months or so when things have changed and maybe better fit your portfolio.
Yes. And that's when I love people like Kate. Can we put something on the books in 6 months, or give me a call in 6 months? And even if that's you today, if you're listening right now and you go, right now isn't the right time, I've got a lot going on. Don't we all? But I can look and say maybe August or September is going to be better for me. Give us a call. Tell us that you want to. I had one of those yesterday that said, hey, can you call me on the week of August? I think it was the third week in August. That's when I am home. I'm back from all this traveling. That's where I'm encouraging you to do it, because then again, like you said, that first step is the hardest. That's where you're at least doing that first step. And so when it comes up in August, you're like, yes. And that's where we're able to call you, because you call us, let us know when to call you back. We've got the software systems and the amazing staff to give you a jingle.
There you go. It's as easy as that, folks. Again, that phone number, 918-890-8311. As we talk about, the first step is always the hardest. The first step being use that phone that you're probably holding right now, scrolling on social media. Put this number in there, 918-890-8311. The website, dimetodiamondsradio.com. Stick with us. Coming up in just a moment, is working a few extra years the strategy that you need to make retirement easier? I'll explain after the break.
Welcome to Willie's Wings, home of the secret sauce.
I'll take a dozen wings. Oh, by the way, I love that sauce. What's in it?
Can't tell you.
Why not?
It's a secret.
While many financial advisors claim to have the secret sauce, they don't. In fact, if their sauce is so good, why are they keeping it a secret? Suzanne Porsky of Phoenix Financial Group doesn't keep anything a secret. She knows there's much more to retirement planning than stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. She'll develop a strategy designed specifically for you. It's your own secret sauce for retirement. Call Suzanne Porsky at Phoenix Financial Group for your personal portfolio x-ray. Call 918-890-8311. That's 918-890-8311. Or online at dimetodiamondsradio.com.
Fine, you want to know what's in the sauce?
Absolutely.
Tablespoon of paprika.
Really?
When it comes to retirement planning, many women are asking for something different. We want to be heard. We want clarity. And more than ever, we want to work with someone who truly understands how we think and how we make financial decisions. And that's where Suzanne Porsky of Phoenix Financial Group can help.
Hi, I'm Suzanne Porsky. For years, I've worked with women who want more than just a generic plan. They want a plan that reflects their life, their priorities, and the way that they approach money. Women, we think differently about retirement. We ask different questions, and we want to understand the why, not just the numbers. We want a collaborative conversation. We don't want another lecture. At Phoenix Financial Group, that's exactly how we work. When you sit down with me, we're going to start with a conversation. We're going to talk about your goals, your concerns, and what matters to you most. Then we're going to look at ways to help protect what you've built. We're going to organize your finances and then create a strategy together focused on dependable income in retirement. So whether you're planning on your own or navigating a life transition or simply just want a second opinion, you deserve to be heard and you deserve a plan that makes sense to you. So if you're a woman who wants to work with a woman, someone who listens, understands, and puts your needs first, I'm offering a complimentary retirement review. There is absolutely no obligation, just a chance to get clarity, ask all the questions, and feel more confident about the road ahead. You have worked so hard for your independence. Now it's time to plan retirement on your terms. So call me today.
Call Suzanne today for your complimentary retirement review at 918-890-8311. That's 918-890-8311. You can also visit dimetodiamondsradio.com. Welcome back. We appreciate you joining us here today with Dime to Diamonds with Suzanne Porsky of Phoenix Financial Group and Rochelle Harp of Harp CPA. My name is Jessica. Most importantly, that phone number, 918-890-8311. 918-890-8311. That website, dimetodiamondsradio.com. You know, this was interesting to me. I saw that a lot of people say, I'll just work a few extra years to make retirement easier. And then I thought, well, gosh, who says that? I mean, when you get close to retirement, you're trying to check out as soon as possible. But a recent survey also found that that plan usually gets blown up by real life. You know, nearly half of those people who retired in 2025 said that they did so earlier than they had expected. And 76% of those early retirements were due to things outside of their control, like health issues or layoffs, or maybe you had to be a caregiver for a parent. So if someone's concerned about maybe a forced early retirement, what are some moves they can consider doing now so they can protect their income?
Well, they can plan for 2 retirement realities, two timelines. And that's what I get a lot of. And so I'm talking to the people out there that are working for a company. Maybe it's Cigna or it's Whirlpool or it's American Airlines. And the buzz has been out there about possibly the golden parachute coming, the severance packages. What does that look like? Come in and let's talk. There's no cost to it. I've walked a lot of people through that to say, hey, here's if your original plan, you wanted to retire at this age. This is if you get this golden ticket.
It is paradise, though.
Yeah,
it is. Retirement's paradise, yeah.
If you get this, what this looks like. And then, I even go that third route, which is what we're talking about here, the health issue. And I've had a lot of people that have sat across my conference table, and I'm like, have they looked at their spouse lately? Not looking really healthy. Like, maybe it's just because I'm coming, I'm 6 months after my husband's, timely stroke that no one planned for. You're just like, whoa, I think we need to have that built in. And so that's where I'm like, not just one retirement timeline, but possibly 3. Wouldn't you agree, Rochelle?
I would completely agree with that. And I've had multiple clients sit across the table and they come in and, one of them had a bad day that morning and told me they weren't being patient enough. And I was like, oh, that's great, because now I'm going to spend an hour with you and you're not going to be patient with me. But okay, let's see how this goes. But come to find out, there was a situation at home and things have taken a turn for the worse, and it's time for them to retire, and it's a lot earlier than they had really anticipated. And you can see it from both sides. There's an emotional side of leaving the company, and they're going to do it on their own terms. And there's a sadness with that. But then from the financial side, there's that angst and that stress of, well, we didn't plan for this. And I think it's just one of those that you can come in and have those conversations and get ahead of that to where if it does happen, you aren't totally deviating. You've had that light conversation. You've had that, okay, well, it's not going to be the end of the world.
Right. I tell people, let's start looking at those fixed expenses right now while the paycheck's still coming in. Let's pay down some debt. Let me talk to you about that. The credit cards, the car loans, even mortgages, stuff like that. Maybe get that line of credit on the mortgage while you're still working and can qualify for it. If you get that flexible line of credit, that means that you've got the equity in your house to use by writing a paycheck if something comes up or if you wanted to use it. So, or paying off the credit cards with that line of credit. So you just have that and we've got a plan in place. So lower monthly expenses give retirement savings more breathing room. And if working sooner than expected, or like the lady I was telling you that last week, she said, I was going to try to push until December 31st was my last day. There's a bonus of $7,000 or $8,000 that they're hanging over her head if she waits. Mm-hmm. And we just looked at all her numbers and ran some reports, and she's like, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to have to be a lot larger than $7,000 or $8,000 to make me give up another 6 months of my life.
I said 70 or 80, or we're talking. She goes, no, 7 or 8. I'm like, okay.
Well, and then from our side, from, the tax side of things, when we're looking at people who are in retirement who have planned it, not the unexpected ones, it's usually their highest earning years, which also mean it's their highest tax years that they're paying. So that factors in. And that's where, a lot of times you and I talk about like Roth conversions or maximizing contributions in those last few years. But those might be conversations to have earlier if someone has that flexibility financially to do that, right?
Absolutely. And is preparing for Medicare, because it's not just the $200. That's what they put out there. It's you've got those excise taxes where it's going to be more because it's income based. Mm-hmm. That's what they charge you is based on income. It's not what your neighbor's paying. Yeah, it's using those final working years to aggressively build flexibility in there and then have these kind of penciled out 3 different plans and then avoid claiming Social Security out of panic. Since it's a one and done, you're stuck with that for the rest of your life. You can put a pause on it if you repay that money that they've given you, but it is definitely something that you're going to want to talk to somebody about your whole picture and see where it all comes in place. Just have that conversation. If you're thinking you have to work a couple more years for the whole retirement thing, because maybe you've done some, fuzzy math, come in. Make the call. It's so simple. It really is. You can stop in. We'll sit across the table. We'll talk about it and see if we are on target for 2 years. If it's sooner than that, the what ifs. Hey, what if you did it now? What would that look like? What does it look like in a year? What does it look like in 2 years? You've got a friend. You've got an ally. We're sitting on your side of the journey, and we want you to have the life that you love. and we want you to live that life. And so if you're thinking, gosh, I wonder if it's even possible. I've never had to, thank God, tell somebody, nope, you're looking like you're another decade in the trenches.
Ooh,
because
yikes.
wherever you're at, there is hope and there's an education and there is a way. And sometimes it's like, well, you're going to have to cut maybe these different things out for a little bit. That's for you to then make. We have the conversations. You go sit and, and let it process, talk to the friends and family about it. And then that's when, they come back in and say, okay, I've got a plan. I got a time frame. Now let's plan this journey in this time frame. So give us a call if that's you and get on our books. We are a couple weeks out because we're super busy. So the sooner you call and get it scheduled, the better.
Absolutely. And this is just an income review, guys, to kind of give you an idea of where you are right now. Where do you want to be? And in your mind, you might be thinking, man, I got 3 more years. I got to get under my belt. When you finally sit down with Suzanne, you might go, oh, my gosh, I could have retired 5 years ago. But you don't know until you begin this conversation. Again, for this complimentary, no cost, no obligation, income and portfolio review, call today, 918-890-8311, 918-890-8311. The website, dimetodiamondsradio.com. This was pretty funny to me. Apparently there seems to be a nationwide phenomenon here in fast food restaurants that serve breakfast. Stay with me here. Comedian Ben Jones says that's where you're going to find the Old Man Breakfast Club. Listen to this.
Look in the corner and you'll see a whole cluster of pawpaws, peepaws, papas, grandpas, grandfathers, Vietnam veterans, and senior citizens sitting in the corner having like a sausage biscuit and a senior coffee. These guys get there early, and these are sweet old men. But don't get it twisted. They take this little meetup very seriously. They turn the whole dining area at McDonald's into Cheers. They even have an official name for themselves. They call themselves the Romeo Club. Retired old men eating out.
Oh my gosh. They turn the whole dining room at McDonald's into Cheers. I'm telling you what, I bet everyone does know their name there because they probably go there once, if not twice a week to meet up.
Yes, I've seen them. I'm not kidding. That they really do. I mean, I'm glad that they have that nice name for them because there is other names that are floating around out there that I've heard. And I'm like, whew. But yeah, they're not sitting at home talking about retirement. They're out living it. And, that's what it's all about. And they look forward to it because I've been there when they start pouring in, they go in, the people know the same order and they go sit in the same corner and they're like, hey, where's Earl today? Did you hear? Did he make it to the car show? I don't know. And they're all checking up on each other. And, yeah, Mom wants me to get this done today. It's on my honey-do list. And I'll come over and stop by and help you. I'm like, distraction.
Well, I think it's fantastic because they're genuinely living out their dream, right? They're living out the life that they wanted to after they retired, whatever that may be. So it may be sitting at McDonald's and having that coffee. It may be you and I going and getting our nails done in a few years. I don't know which it might be, but it's getting to live that dream.
Yes, and they've replaced that paycheck with some sort of reliable income. They've coordinated their Social Security with other income sources, and they're not market dependent. So they're out there just shooting the breeze. And I think that is really what it's all about. They're living this life that they love. It's inspiring to me. I have not seen a women's club. They're probably playing mahjong though. They get their
100% they are. They
get their husband's supper, and they're out there either slamming bunko or they're doing mahjong. Because we have the groups. We're just not we're not there at 7 a.m. at McDonald's.
Well, I don't think we're out in places. They're at the houses. So my husband's grandmother, they go play cards every Friday. And I always ask her if she wins, and she seems to dominate. And she's like, you can come play. And I'm like, well, Granny, I got to work. When I get retired, I will come and play with you, but I got to go work right now. But I mean, it's just getting to do what you want, having that leisure time. I think it's just fantastic. But I don't think they got there just on a whim, right? I think they had a plan. They worked and they saved and they put money in different vehicles. And hopefully, I would assume they had that conversation.
So when their 10 cents coffee goes up at McDonald's to 50 cents or 75 cents, they're able to roll with it.
Exactly.
That's right.
I heard them talking about that one day, and I was like, you're aging yourself. But they're so proud of it. And then we're out, of course, we're in Oklahoma. So you guys know, I'm talking to you listeners. It's refreshing to see the farmers that are out there, they passed it on to the next generation. And we have very good family friends. So I'm sure that Ours, Jared, he inherited the 4-year generation. He's not having coffee, but his I think they call Papa, or like my husband's called Bamps, is out there, and they're just enjoying life. They're in their social club. So if you're one of us that's listening and you are in that breakfast club and you want to come by and get some free popcorn or some coffee, hey, I'm one of those businesses. I started at Bank of America in the 80s, and that's what we did. We had the popcorn and the free coffee, and we want to see you guys. You guys, you're the reason we're doing what we're doing, is to educate people to get to where you're at and enjoying this time of life, this season of life. So the popcorn popper is always going, and the coffee is fresh in the morning. I can't say so much about the afternoon. That's when we put it on ice. Yeah, stop on in. I'd love to hear your stories. I'd love to say hi and get to meet our listeners out there. And if you're in Mahjong, please give us a call. I'd like to learn a little more. I don't know if I'm ready to splurge on the $500 set, but I want to have some conversations.
There you go. A little retirement, a little game talk, and we'll make it happen for you. 918-890-8311, 918-890-8311. Again, don't forget that website, dimetodiamondsradio.com. Happy Mother's Day out there to all the moms. We appreciate you joining us here today for Dime to Diamonds. And, of course, we'll see you next time.
We will see you next time. Thank you so much for joining us today. This has been absolutely wonderful. We would love to meet you in person, so stop by, give us a call, or jump on the website and schedule an appointment.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to second that. I hope you guys are getting some good information and you're enjoying the conversations that we have, but I would love the opportunity to sit across from you and just hear your stories and just get to know you.
And find out how we can even answer more questions. Yep. Because we don't know what to answer until you ask us the questions. So thanks for having us, Jess.
Phoenix Financial Group has a strategic partnership with Rochelle Harp at Harp Accounting, who can provide tax advice. The strategic partner herein is not employed by Phoenix Financial Group. Neither Phoenix Financial Group nor IPW are affiliated with Harp Accounting. Any and all other services offered by the Harp Accounting are not offered through or supervised by IPW. Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Phoenix Financial Group, LLC. Phoenix Financial Group, LLC is an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, or registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Phoenix Financial Group, LLC are not subject to investment advisor requirements. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This radio show is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Phoenix Financial Group, LLC is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Phoenix Financial Group, LLC. This radio show is a paid placement.